Hi guys, Lloyd from Bizzfo. This is the second video in covering the enhancements and changes within our StockTech environment. So in this video, what we're going to cover is we spoke about the cascading being a default view and also the time-lapse component at the bottom. So let me set up a StockTech quickly. Let's do beer. So beer contains bananas and beer. And as mentioned previously, we can see the cases with the notes. So I can fill that in. And then I'm going to add another one, which is just bun. This is just one I like to test. Okay. So what we're looking for is we've got the detailed default cascade view. We are happy with that. We can see what the items are in stock at this point. But we want to change these items and see how it impacts when we receive stuff. Now, taking the bun, for example, I'm going to take 7. I'm going to count 7. The scenario would be is I'm going to receive 10, and then I'm going to sell 3 of them, which would get me to 7. Banana singles, we are going to do 29. So we want to see that the system is actually showing us a loss. And then the beer, I'm going to set at 35 because I'm going to sell one. Now, these items I haven't done or sold or moved, and we're going to see that in action now. So this is the StockTech that was done. And we are now going to consider what would happen with those items. So let's quickly just bring the buns in. Okay, there we go. You'll notice the quantity is sitting at 0. I'm going to add them. There we go. It's going to 10. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell 1, 2, 3 buns. So we would expect them to be 7 now and a beer single. Just ignore the promotion. There's some other testing I did, but in essence we are selling a beer. Alright, let's ring this off. And looking just quickly back to our inventory just to confirm, to give you some context. So the bun we can see is sitting at 7 and our beer singles are sitting, where are they? They're sitting at 35. Now again, our StockTech was started but not completed. So the challenge we had previously was you had to keep quite a bit of track in terms of what you did with your StockTech. You know, switching the time lapse on and off, and also your variances, the variance column was dropped. So you had to keep track of your variances, and it was just slightly more difficult, or you needed to know a bit more about what's going on in your StockTech before you process it. So in this case, we had one staff member that did the StockTech. We had some sales and transactions that took place, and I'm not going to touch any of this quantity. I'm just simply going to click on the process button. Alright, my StockTech is processed, and let's see what the variance report looks like. So let's select our last variance, our last report. And we could see our beer single was sitting at 35. Remember when we started the StockTech, it was sitting at 36 and then we sold it. So there was no quantity variance picked up, so that's good. Our bananas, we had one loss, so we can see that's the 0. And then the buns, again, when we started the StockTech, we had no items in stock, but the quantity before and after, and we can see there's only the loss of the 1. Just the last thing I want to show you is a different way of looking at that stock would be to go to your reports, go to your stock movement, and in this case I'm specifically going to look at the bun. So I'm on the details screen and I'm going to put it in the filter bun, and let's have a look. So I initially started the day with a StockTech of 0. I did that just before this video. I then received from my supplier 10 came into stock. I then sold 3, which is out, and then the other movement was on a quantity StockTech. There was 0 movement on that item. So that's just to show you some of the history of that specific item. And yeah, guys, that's basically it. So just to recap on the previous video, at the bottom there's no more need to select your Your movement tick box, the system will now continuously monitor and see if there's any movements and bring that into play. Your show cascading is now default, so you will see your case, pack, and single, which you can enter. Note that if it's not set up, you won't be able to count it. And then just by default, adding any new stock take would mean that your items are now filtered to the extent that you won't see any items that are not allowed to be on a stock take, like your recipe and certain cascaded items. Cool, guys, that's it. Any other questions, please let us know. Contact us on info@bizzfo.co.za or our WhatsApp line.